Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know how sometimes there are these things we interact with every single day, but we don't really stop to think about them?
Like what?
Well, today it's all about mindset and belief systems, that invisible stuff running in the background of our lives.
Ah, yeah, kind of like an invisible script shaping our reality.
Exactly. And we found this super interesting article called The Power of Mindset and Belief Systems. It really digs into how much control we have just by changing our mental approach.
You know, it's funny. The article starts by defining mindset. It's not just some vague idea. It's a whole bunch of beliefs that are so ingrained they're almost subconscious. Like they filter how we see the world.
So they're not just thoughts, they're more like our default settings, right?
Yeah, and these settings affect everything. Our reactions are success in the long run. And then the article goes on to explain two main types of mindset, fixed and growth.
Okay, so what makes them different?
Well, a fixed mindset is like thinking your abilities are set in stone. Like intelligence, talent, personality. You either have it or you don't. It's like saying, I'm just bad at math and giving up.
So you're basically limiting yourself.
Exactly. But then there's the growth mindset. This is where things get cool. It's all about believing you can develop your abilities. Challenges become opportunities to learn and grow. Someone with this mindset would be like, okay, I'm struggling with math now, but with practice, I can get better.
This is a more dynamic approach to everything.
The article even calls it a secret weapon for success. And not just in one area, but in everything. Relationships, career, personal growth.
That's huge. How does this secret weapon work, though?
Well, there's this concept called neuroplasticity.
Hmm.
Basically, for ages, we thought our brains were fixed after a certain point. But now we know they're super adaptable. Every time we learn something new, we make new connections in our brains.
So a growth mindset is like encouraging your brain to rewire itself.
Precisely. It's like updating your mental software to handle tougher stuff.
Wow.
And this brings us to belief systems, those deep convictions we have about ourselves and the world.
So these beliefs are like mindsets. They can either help us or hold us back.
Exactly. The article points that out. And sometimes we don't even realize how these beliefs are affecting us.
Okay, can you give us an example of a limiting belief?
Imagine someone who always says, money doesn't grow on trees. Now, it might sound harmless, but that belief might be creating a scarcity mindset. It makes it harder to see opportunities or take risks that could lead to more abundance.
Or what about, I'm just not good at relationships? If that's your starting point, it'll totally affect how you interact with people. Maybe you'll even self-sabotage without realizing it.
Exactly. These beliefs are like running on autopilot in the background. They shape our decisions, actions, and ultimately our results.
But the good news is they're not permanent. Just like mindset, we can change our belief systems.
Wait, seriously? We can change those beliefs that feel like they're part of who we are. How's that even possible? It takes conscious effort. The article says the first step is becoming aware of these limiting beliefs. That's usually the hardest part, bringing them to the surface.
So it's like shining a light on those hidden scripts that are running the show.
Yep. And once you see them, then
We can start to do something about them, right?
Exactly. The next step is to challenge those beliefs. Don't just accept them. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is it helping me? What evidence do I have?
So it's like putting that belief on trial.
Yeah, and often you'll realize those limiting beliefs are based on weak evidence, outdated ideas, or fears that aren't even real anymore.
So we can start to dismantle them,
Yeah.
expose them for what they are.
Exactly. And once we've done that, we can start replacing them with beliefs that actually empower us.
Okay, so let's say someone has that belief, I'm not good enough. What's an example of something more empowering they could try?
Instead of I'm not good enough, they could say, I'm capable of learning and growing, and I'm worthy of love and respect. It's about finding phrases that resonate with you personally.
So it's like reframing the whole picture, shifting your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a one-time thing, right? It's got to be an ongoing process.
Definitely. The article talks about repetition and consistency.
Yeah.
Every time you think about that empowering belief or do something that aligns with it, you're strengthening those pathways in your brain.
Like building a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And speaking of which, I think we should talk more about self-talk and how our words shape our reality. That was a big part of the article too, right?
Absolutely. There's this amazing story in the article about an athlete who completely changed his performance just by changing his self-talk. He had this belief that pro players were on another level, like they were just born with more talent.
So he was starting with a disadvantage in his own mind.
Exactly. And to overcome that, he chose this word relentless and started repeating, I am relentless, over and over.
What happened? Did just using that one word make a difference?
The change was huge. He started training harder, pushing himself further, because that's what a relentless person does.
It's like the word became a self-fulfilling prophecy. He aligned his actions with the identity he was creating through his words. That's a really powerful example of how even small changes in our language can create big changes in our lives. This reminds me of that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about identity-based habits.
Right. Instead of just focusing on goals, we should focus on becoming the kind of person who achieves those goals.
It's all about aligning our actions with the beliefs we want to embody. And this connects to another important point the article makes, focus.
Where focus goes, energy flows.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more about this focus principle.
Well, think about it. When we dwell on problems, limitations, or what we're lacking, we're feeding those negative thought patterns. But when we focus on solutions, opportunities, and things we're grateful for,
We attract more of those positive things. It's like that saying, what you focus on expands.
exactly. It's about choosing where to direct our energy. And this leads us to the actionable steps in the article for actually rewiring our mindsets and beliefs.
Let's hear them. Give us the breakdown.
The article suggests starting with a simple exercise. Identify one limiting belief that's holding you back. Write it down.
Get it out of your head. Make it real.
Then challenge it. Don't just accept it as truth. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is it helping me? What evidence do I have?
Like you said, put it on trial
And often you'll find that those beliefs are based on flimsy evidence or outdated ideas.
so we can start breaking them down.
Right. And once you've challenged that belief, it's time to replace it with something empowering.
Like swapping out old software for a newer, better version.
For example, if someone's limiting belief is, I always fail at public speaking, their empowering belief could be, I am a confident and engaging speaker and I'm always improving.
So it's not just about negating the negative, it's about replacing it with something positive and achievable.
Exactly. And then comes the most important part, taking action to reinforce that new belief.
So we're not just changing our thoughts, but also our actions.
Right? If that person wants to be a confident speaker, they need to take steps to make it happen, like taking a public speaking class, practicing in front of a mirror, or finding opportunities to speak in front of others.
Every action reinforces the belief.
And the article also mentions affirmations. Repeating your empowering beliefs every day can help reprogram your mind.
So it's an active process. We're not just hoping for change, we're making it happen. It's powerful to realize we have so much control over our thoughts,
Yeah,
but changing these deep beliefs takes time and effort,
it
right?
does. It's a journey.
Mm.
There's no magic switch. It takes patience and persistence.
But the potential rewards are huge. We can reshape our reality. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It's like we can actually redesign those mental blueprints to create the lives we want. But, as we've been talking, I've been thinking about how mindset affects different parts of life, like career, relationships, health. I wonder, are there certain beliefs that come up more often in specific areas? That's a good question. And it's something the article touches on. For example, in careers, you often see limiting beliefs about self-doubt, like, I'm not qualified enough or I'll never get promoted. Those beliefs can stop people from even trying.
They're holding themselves back before they even begin. And I bet in relationships, there are a lot of beliefs around rejection or being vulnerable.
Absolutely. Beliefs like, I'm not worthy of love or I'll always get hurt can ruin relationships before they even start. It's like they create a shield that prevents real connection.
So these beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you think you'll fail, you're less likely to put in the work or take risks. Which brings us back to awareness, right? Recognizing those beliefs is the first step to changing them.
Exactly. Like shining a light on those hidden programs. Once we see them, we can start to question them and replace them with something better.
And as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to emphasize that this journey of changing our mindset is ongoing. It's not about being positive all the time. It's about being aware of our thoughts, challenging the negative ones, and choosing to focus on what empowers us.
I agree. And remember, it's a process. There will be times when those old beliefs pop up again. That's okay. The important thing is to notice them without judgment and gently guide ourselves back to a better perspective.
It's like we're learning a new language, the language of growth and possibility. It might feel strange at first, but with practice, it gets easier.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And as we leave our listeners to think about all this, I want to share a question from the article, one that really makes you think.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the question?
What's one limiting belief you are ready to let go of and replace with a belief that empowers you? Make some time to think about that, to really look at those hidden scripts that might be holding you back.
That's a great question to consider as you go about your day. And remember, you have more power to shape your reality than you might realize. It all starts with that first step. that choice to step out of the shadows and into the light. That's all the time we have for today. We hope this deep dive has given you some insights and tools to work with. If you want to learn more, be sure to check out the full article, The Power of Mindset and Belief Systems. You can find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep those mindsets growing.